Hi, my name's Carmen from UMI Trailer Rentals. We rent RVs to people from Alberta, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, all across the country for when they come to the sunny Okanagan in summertime to enjoy our beautiful lakes. But today what I'm here for is to show you how to winterize your RV. Now some will be the same, some will be slightly different, but the general idea is all the same. So a few things we'll need: screwdriver, socket set with an extension. You may want to use a little adapter for blowing out some lines. We'll use that a little bit later. You don't have to, but we like to use that. And a couple of jugs of RV antifreeze. Now the reason you want to use this stuff is because it's non-toxic to pets and animals and yourself, of course, for when you go to summerize in the spring. You don't have to worry about poisoning yourself. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is try and find your access to your hot water tank and your water pump from inside the trailer. Ours happens to be behind this panel. The reason you want to find your hot water tank is you need to, if it applies to your hot water tank, turn the bypass off. Makes it a lot easier for winterizing everything instead of it filling it up with RV antifreeze. Now that we've got our cover off, you can see that we have three valves. The bottom valve here is our cold water intake. The top one is our on-demand hot water, and we have a bypass valve. Most units do have this. Check yours, it may be a little bit different. So what you want to do is you want to close your cold water and your hot water and open your bypass valve. Because what's going to happen is you're going to pump the antifreeze through your line. It's going to go into here, it's going to stop there, go up there, and push through that way. It's not going to fill your hot water tank. We will be draining the hot water tank in just a little bit. Once you have located your water pump, you'll see, or hopefully you'll have one of these valves right here. And this is basically the way we're going to get our antifreeze into our system. What this valve does is it shuts off drawing from the tank and switches it to drawing from your antifreeze bottle. So what we want to do is take this cap off, take our hose, which I forgot to mention earlier you will need for drawing the antifreeze out of the jug, and we just connect this on here. Now if for some reason your RV doesn't have one of these, there's a couple things you can do. If your RV does not have a bypass valve and just has a solid line, you can disconnect it from your pump, or the easiest thing to do is go down to your local RV dealership and buy one of these bypass valves, cut your line, and then just get a couple of C-clamps to install it with, and then it makes it a lot easier for doing your winterizing. So now that we have that connected, what we're going to do is open up our jug of RV antifreeze. And stick this end in there all the way down. So the next thing you want to do is find your RV control console and turn on your water pump. Alright, so now that we've got our antifreeze hooked up to our water pump, what you need to do now, and your water pump on, don't forget to do that, is come around and open your taps one at a time. And when you look down at your antifreeze, the jug should be draining. So you should be waiting for it to come out here. As soon as you see pink, turn it off. Go just a little bit more. We still have some white water coming out. And as soon as we see the pink, that line is done. Now what you need to do is do that for all your lines. Now that we've done the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, and the shower, we got to do the most important, throw. Same thing, all you do is just push down on the pedal, let the water flow until we start to see pink. Once we see pink, it is good. And that is it for the inside of the trailer. Next we're going to move to the outside and show you what has to be done out there. Now that we're done on the inside of the trailer, it's important to remember not to forget the outside of your trailer. Today we're going to start with the outside shower. A lot of trailers have an actual shower head. Ours has a spray nozzle. But once again, we have a hot and we have a cold. Just going to turn on the cold water. Wait for that to come out pink. There we go. That one is done. And then the hot water. And the hot water is done. By now you may need to change to your other jug, as it does take two to do this. But we've gotten so far as to be able to do this one, and now we're going to have to go change it. Now that we've put on our new jug of antifreeze in the trailer at the water pump, it's time to drain your hot water tank. Now, as I said before, we have a shutoff valve inside, so our hot water tank is still full. So here's our drain plug here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our 5/16 socket, a socket wrench, and an extension. Sometimes these things can be a little difficult to get at. And now we'll just let it drain. Once your tank is finished draining, put the plug back in. Once you got the plug back in, go inside and open up your cold water intake to your hot water tank for about 3 seconds. It'll allow some of the antifreeze to get in there, and so that any water that may be left in your tank will not freeze. Some important things that you don't want to forget, as well as all the other stuff we've gone through, is your city water connection. Pop that off, and inside you may have a screen, you may not. Pop your screen out, and inside is a little relief valve. Just push on that. Well, that was fun. So what ended up happening was the valve, which was supposed to be a one-way valve, actually stuck open when I did that. So I'd run inside and turn off the pump so it'll quit pumping antifreeze out. So anyway, it's not supposed to do that. That's just one more little repair I have to do before spring. So one more thing to do after you're finished with your city water connection is to make sure that you drain your water tank completely and your low water point drains. As you can see over there in the far corner, there's 2 more hanging down. I just take the caps off and just make sure that there's pink water in there for the RV antifreeze. So, and if there is, just close them up right away and you're all good. The last one, make sure that you drain this tank or your freshwater tank completely. And once that's drained, put the cap back on and you're good to go. Those of you that have a sanding flush system on the outside of your trailer, you're going to want to pick up one of these. It's an air valve, just like on your car tire. You need this and a compressor. What you want to do is take this out, and it's very important to turn your compressor down low to about 5 pounds, because you're just trying to get any water that might be in these lines, if there's a dip in them or anything like that. You just want that out so it doesn't freeze and break. Once you have that connected, grab your air hose, give it a little push until you think all the water is out. And that's it. You're done. So one of the last things I like to do once I've done the outside, put everything back together the way it was, is I like to come in and take what's left over of our antifreeze and just dump it a little bit down each sink. This will keep your drains from freezing over the winter. And if you do that to all your drains, they'll be good come spring and you'll be happy RVing. Until next time, I'm Carmen from UMI Trailer Rentals in Vernon, British Columbia. Have yourself a great day. Cheers.